Hello and welcome to our first Fablecast tutorial video. This is just going to take you through the main menu, understanding exactly what you're presented with, how to access our game and how to play. We've had a couple of questions on exactly what story mode and explorer mode is, how you sign in, etc. And all of that I'll get into in a minute. The first thing we're going to do is sign in to the app. So when you first load up the app, either on desktop or on mobile, you'll be met with this screen. It might look a little different on mobile, but it will have all of the same elements on there. When you see this, it can be a bit like, but you are able to look through the books, look through the stories and the worlds at your without even having to sign in to begin with. When you need to sign in, if you click over here on sign in to play, if this is your first time, you will need to create an account. So you can either do that by display name and email address, whichever one you prefer, or if you have Google or Apple, you can sign in with those. You can also tick or untick receiving emails from Fablecast about updates. We would recommend you keep it ticked, just so that we can keep you updated with any new stories, new modes, new UI, any features that we introduce that go straight to your email inbox. I'm going to click on Google, sign in with that. And then once that's signed in, you'll see it looks exactly the same. It just now says jump back in on A Christmas Carol, because that's the last one I was playing. It doesn't mean that that's going to be on your screen. You'll probably be recommended a story based on the algorithm. So when you see this, you can have a little browse. I mentioned story mode and explorer mode. These are two separate modes that we've curated and developed. Story mode and explorer mode are separate ways of playing. So story mode, you go through the story quite linearly. You are able to do anything you want in those stories, but you go through chapter by chapter rather than being able to skip straight to the end or anything like that. You still have the full autonomy and the full ability to say or do anything you want to the storyteller in that world. It just means that you'll start at chapter 1. Explorer mode is a bit more like sandbox mode. So if you've ever played a open world game and completed the main quest, it's a bit like then exploring the world after you've completed the main story. Everything's done, everything's there, the NPCs are all there. You can just explore it at your own pace, talk to who you want to talk to, see if there's any hidden quests or anything like that, puzzles to solve, etc, etc. It's quite interesting to just live in these worlds and just exist in them, talk to the NPCs. My favourite is Alice in Wonderland. I do love just talking to the Cheshire Cat for hours on end. Once you've decided your story, all you have to do is click on it. So we're going to click into Bricks, Bribes and Battle Cries. This is one that we've adapted and written ourselves. It was our first one. And you'll be presented with what we call the detail screen. Now, the detail screen has a bit more detail than the first screen. It tells you the synopsis of what it's about. And you can, from there, either decide to click in or away from the world. If you go back from the world, you're back at the main menu and you can story. We're going to go into this world now. What you're going to see is how a linear story is presented to you from the storyteller's perspective. So once it's loaded in, the storyteller will start writing, and it will start writing with these ones the same setting time. So with this one, I believe you're in the middle of a goblin fight in your town and you've got to do something to save it. So the blast of a warning horn rips through sleep, shattering the peace, etc, etc. Now, anything in a green box is more scenery setting. So think of it as like scene description. Rather than the storyteller telling you what the scene is, this is standard location, this is what it looks like. We're going to get a couple of messages from NPCs. So something we do a little bit differently is rather than the storyteller telling you what an NPC says or how they react, we let them react and speak for themselves. As you can see, these are all my comrades begging me to help and save the farm, etc. Darius is trapped and he's not doing very well. So I'm going to shout back, I will save you, Darius. Right. Very dramatic. You can type anything at this place and then the storyteller will respond to you in a way that is appropriate. So I've chosen to save Darius. So now I need to work out how I'm going to use this. It tells me what's at my disposal so I can decide. Now, there are a couple of settings that we have here. If you pop into settings in the top right hand corner, you can see my text speed is on number 4 out of 5. There's a sliding scale. That is how fast the text appears on your screen. Personally, I prefer it on the fastest, but you can have it slower, and I'll show you that in a second. The other thing that we have here is patience. So what that means is When the storyteller tells you something and it says the storyteller is waiting for a response, it's how long they'll wait before prompting you to say something again. Currently, I have mine on infinite because sometimes I take a little bit longer to actually process what I want to do. Side note, just to mention, you can delete your entire account from this menu should you wish to. We really hope you don't. But if for any reason you want to delete your data, the button is there for you to do so. Really easy. So now I've changed that to slower setting for the text speed. I'm going to say I use the crowbar to lift the fence post off Darius. And then the storyteller should respond even slower than they were before, just so you can see how the text speed actually varies across the sliding scale. So, something else to mention. As you can see, the text is coming up really slowly. What you see there, that little gauge that I failed, is what we call an action check. So it checks to see how successful you are in the action. We don't have stats, we don't have dice rolls, we don't have any of that stuff that you need to keep track of. It's just more based on your character, how likely they are able to lift the fence post off of Darius with a crowbar. In this case, it was unsuccessful. And so now I need to think of something else. That's basically how you play the story. Once you're done, if you just press the back button, you'll see that this screen's a little bit different now. So we still have Start Another World, which you can do, but we also have something called My World. So it's creating a save for you. If you want, you can click back into it and you'll be able to go to My Worlds on the left-hand screen. It shows you your entire library of worlds that you've played. Now, here is A Christmas Carol. So you can access all your worlds from this main left-hand menu. If I was in Bricks, Bribes and going on to this, it would just show me my Bricks, Bribes world. So if I had 2 or 3 Bricks, Bribes worlds, it would show me them there, almost like a collection. The other things that you can do from here is join the Discord community. It's a small knit community at the moment, but we are hoping that as more people join, we get more stories about how they changed the ending of Sleepy Hollow, or they ended up siding with Hook in Peter Pan, and people can discuss their stories because everyone is different, everyone is unique. As you can see I'll show you in A Christmas Carol how the world is slightly different to the story. So here you're kind of thrown in. So where A Christmas Carol starts, you don't start there because it's the world. I'm going to speed it up just a tiny bit. There we go. So we're now friends with Mr. and Mrs. Cratchit, right? Okay, and Tiny Tim. So I brought the biggest turkey in town. There we go. And you can just live in this world, talk to the NPCs, experience it as the main character, and there's no quest line, there's no goals, there's nothing like that. But you can just be in this world, and we find that actually that's quite a nice place to be. If you ever want to delete a world for any reason, you can just go to the My Worlds menu and click the delete button, and then it's gone. You have a maximum of 3 saves, so it's well worth keeping track of what ones you're playing at that time. And that is it. That is everything we have. If you wish to report any bugs or send feedback, that's available in the setting menu. But we hope you enjoy playing. If you have any questions, reach out to us on social media, via email, in Discord, anything like that. And we hope you enjoy playing.